Welcome to Somerset Showcase. Today we have a couple very special guests. You may recognize them. We're here, it may seem a little soon, but we're here to talk about a holiday event, a very special holiday event that we're going to have at the Somerset Historical Society. So Mr. and Mrs. Claus, could you tell me about that event?
Yes, I think if people think back a number of years, there used to be an event held at the library where people would come in with their children, get an appointment, sit down, have their photo taken, then they move into another room and have their photo taken with Santa, and then later it would be published in the paper. We are going to try to bring that back to some degree at the Historical Society with the help of Mr. Austin here, and we will have the children make appointments, and we'll give the phone number later, and they'll be able to come in, come up on the stage, visit with Santa and Mrs. Claus, get their photo taken. I believe that you have someone who's going to publish the photos, so people will be able to pick them up probably at some of the local places. You might be able to have them at the library. I don't know where they'll be.
There's going to be a very special edition called the North Pole Sentinel.
Oh, okay, North Pole Sentinel. So
yes, he's doing it in conjunction with our newspaper at the North Pole.
yes, so that will be that's the plan right now. And then after that, I'll let Mrs. Claus explain what's going to happen. You're going to come in and you're going to get a coloring book, I believe.
Yes, coloring book and crayons
Right.
when they come to visit for their pictures. And within those coloring books and crayons, there are going to be hidden special invitations to our inaugural meeting of the Silver Bell Society, which will be for the children and their families who find the silver ticket in their coloring books. And they will, in the evening, be able to come back to the museum and have some one-on-one time with Santa and myself, where they get to be part of a story hour that is going to be filmed by SATV9. And they will be getting some one-on-one time with Santa and Mrs. Claus to ask as many questions as they want to know about the North Pole. So we want them to write down what they have always wanted to know, because we are the experts.
And I would think if you're watching this now and your child that's coming to visit us, and hopefully you will get a ticket, and if you do, start thinking about things you might want to know. And even when you come to visit for your photo, you might want to throw at least one of the questions out there to learn more about the North Pole.
And then there will be other activities after the story hour is filmed. They're going to be decorating cookies from the North Pole Bakery. They will be getting served snacks. They will be writing letters to the North Pole with their wish list. And we're going to expedite that right to the North Pole so that they get special consideration as far as what they're going to receive for Christmas, and see if we can accommodate it. But as Santa always says, we'll see what we can do.
Yeah, we'll see. Oh, yes. Well, you may not get everything you want, but you'll like what you get, is generally what I like to tell the children. Also,
Depending on how good you were.
yes, and it's very difficult to be perfect.
We
don't
understand
expect
that.
perfection. We want a good, honest effort, and that's usually good enough. The other thing that I wanted to talk about is the Historical Society previously had open houses, and they haven't had one since before COVID. The last one was before COVID, so they're starting to decorate in here, and it looks like they're doing a pretty good job as I look out. And I'm looking forward to coming back to Somerset. We're looking forward to coming back to Somerset, seeing the children, having photos taken, and visiting with them in the evening. I can't wait. I always love coming to Somerset.
Somerset has a special place in our hearts.
Yes.
You're hoping to make this a tradition. This will be the first year for this new event, but
It will be the first year, and we hope of many, many more. I know that previously, what the Somerset Sentinel Special Edition is going to be, hopefully that will continue on. I think you said the other paper, maybe it ran for 50 years or so. I'm hoping that this continues on for 50 years or so, because it's a great tradition. You get to see, you get a photo of your children, you see it in with a bunch of other children, their friends perhaps. They sit with their cousins. It's just a fun event. And I always enjoy it. And I think that I think the youngest child I had was 7 days old that sat on my lap for a photo. So I'm looking forward to starting that back up again. And I know Mrs. Claus is very excited about it also.
Yes.
Yeah, I hope I'm gonna be here for another 50 years to do this, so.
A little bit of
We
Christmas
all
magic.
Maybe you
hope
have
so.
some of your magic you can do.
A little bit.
Yes.
That's drawn from the kids' belief.
Yes.
So sometimes if there's a year that it's like hard, COVID was really hard to get that reserve up, and thank God we had extra in the
Yeah.
reserve tanks.
Yeah.
We just got to keep making sure that the kids believe they are good with their families, they love, they share, and that's what this is all about.
Yes. It's a time to enjoy your family and your friends and be thankful. I know Thanksgiving's coming up, but Christmas is also a time to be thankful for what you have and all the love that's in your family. So that's something to keep in mind always. It's not always about what you get, it's about what you give also.
And kind of around that, for the North Pole Sentinel, we want to thank the Somerset Federal Credit Union and Mallard Printing for sponsoring it. They are our two main sponsors for the photo event that's going to happen, and they always step up for the community.
They both do a wonderful job for the town, and you know, Santa will try to make sure they get something special. Right, Mrs. Claus will have to think on that,
Absolutely.
what we can do to reward them.
Are we going to have some refreshments at this event?
Yes, there's going to be some refreshments. That is going to be sponsored by various businesses as well. We're still working on some of them, but so far we have the VFW in Somerset. We have the Tipsy Toboggan and Red Oak Hospitality, which also owns the Old Grist Mill and Canteet Brewery. As well as...
And there will be no adult beverages here for the adults, so don't get too excited
Not going to be anything in the eggnog.
about the Canned Heat Brewery.
Right. Exactly. They're bringing over and sponsoring some of the refreshments.
Right.
But the refreshments will not have
No
alcohol.
adult beverages.
Correct. Not at this event. We encourage the kids to come dressed in their PJs and to enjoy themselves.
Yeah, that's another thing for the photo event that we'd like to encourage is kids to come dressed in their nice Christmas clothes.
Traditionally, they have, and sometimes it's just incredible. And Mrs. Claus often, she loves sparkles, and if sometimes people have sparkly shoes or sparkly
I
dresses.
get a little distracted.
And then she has me looking to find those things for her, or have the elves, the tailors and seamstresses up at the North Pole work on some of those designs. She sometimes comes
Anything
back with a quick sketch. And
Anything that lights up, sparkles, glitters, or glows, it's all for me.
that's true. And you do get distracted easily.
Yes, I do.
So if you want to distract Mrs. Claus, wear something sparkly. That's all I can say.
And you guys have been making appearances in the area for quite a while now.
Yes, we have.
Yes.
And we always enjoy coming to this area. I think that people that live here don't appreciate how beautiful, or they get used to how beautiful this area is. They're so lucky to be living by the water, by the bay. They're not far from the ocean. And from here, you can be out in the Berkshires in a short amount of time. Massachusetts is a wonderful place to live, and Mrs. Claus and I like it here, although she often, after Christmas, likes to go somewhere further south because she likes warmth. So she usually tries to rope me into a vacation somewhere where it's sunny and sandy. And she loves the beach. I'm not a super beach person myself, kids.
No, he's
because
not. He likes to complain.
I sunburn easily, so I have to wear the sunscreen. So,
I don't like being cold.
yes.
And I live in the tundra.
Well, we have to be somewhere where we're not easy to find.
Sure,
Because we've got
sure.
a lot of things going on, and we don't want people up there snooping about trying to find out what they're getting for Christmas.
We do blend in really well when we're in our normal street clothes or our regular clothes.
Yes, and one of the things that children often ask about is, where's the sleigh? Well, we only get the sleigh cleared for flight on Christmas Eve because the FAA, Federal Aviation Administration, only clears us to fly that night. Now, we can fly at the North Pole and get the reindeer trained, but they don't want us interfering with the planes that are flying back and forth and interrupting all the flight patterns and the normal air travel. So you could see us during the year, like when we're on vacation, we'll rent a car, we'll fly on a plane, we may be on a bus going somewhere. So you could see us walking somewhere. So we don't have the sleigh other than Christmas Eve. So there's no point in looking for the reindeer when we're here. And I don't think we mentioned when we're doing this. We're going to be doing it. Traditionally, this event was held Black Friday, the day after Thanksgiving, for those of you that don't know what Black Friday is, which is probably nobody. And it was held at the library, and it will be at the Somerset Historical Society, which is at 274 High Street. It's the Old Village School. And we are going to be taking reservations for the photos, I believe.
Yes.
And where are they to call for the photos, Mrs. Claus? What phone number?
They're actually to call 774-365-9090 and to ask for Kelly. And this event is held on November 29th. That is Black Friday, the day after Thanksgiving. And the morning event, well, it's afternoon because it starts at noon.
Right.
So noon to 4 is when the photos are going to be taken. And then promptly at 5 o'clock is when we're going to start with the story hour.
With the Silver Bell Society.
Yes,
Right.
and we're booking so many families per 15 minutes. So you're going to get a 15-minute time slot, and you'll come in. So there's definitely open reservations. We have several, but we would like to get more. So make your reservation ASAP.
And if you have a special time, the sooner you call, the more likely you are to get the time slot that you'd like. And I think that what people traditionally did, and this is my thought, is it seemed like often people would go out very early shopping on Black Friday.
Very early.
Very early. Get back home, maybe take a little nap, and then say, oh, let's go visit Santa and Mrs. Claus and get our photo for the paper. So I think that it's a nice little tradition that can be started up again. And once again, we thank everybody involved for inviting us down and
For the amount of
making this
time, yeah.
possible.
Yeah. Now you'll make a few purchases on your computer or your phone, and then you can come over. It should be even more convenient.
That's
Absolutely.
true.
And that's why we started at 12, was so that those people that were out all night could sleep a little bit and
Right.
not be here at 9 a.m. And we kept that same time frame, and we're looking forward to it. This is our chance to come down. We enjoy coming down every year. We've been doing it
Yes.
for a long time, and we really missed it. So we're looking forward to bringing it back again. So we need you again to make your reservations as soon as you can.
And I look forward to seeing everybody. I'm very excited to start meeting with the children again and hearing what they want for Christmas and maybe about their plans, what their families do at Christmas. I know some families, you know, have certain traditions that they do every Christmas day. They may be some people say, don't get me up until such and such a time. Other people have, the kids are up at 4 a.m. looking for their gifts. So whatever, I'd like to hear what people do for their Christmas Day, their traditions also. That would be great to hear. You can learn about us, but we can learn also more about your traditions. So,
Absolutely.
yes.
You know, I know my family always had our own traditions, so it would be nice to hear what other people do.
Yes.
That would be fun to also write a little story about some of those traditions that people do.
Yes, it would be. I know someone who could do that. Thank you for tuning in to Somerset Showcase for our special report from the North Pole with Santa Claus and Mrs. Claus as we announce our holiday event for Black Friday from noon to 4 for the photo session, and for those who received the special Silver Bell Society invitations for other activities starting at 5 p.m.